You're just like signaling to predators, like unaccompanied minor.
Because there wasn't anybody.
No, not that one.
It was. I felt so uncomfortable doing that because when I landed off the plane, my dad had to like fucking go, like they basically took me into a room and I was sitting with a fucking stranger. I was more scared of that guy and just waiting for what I mean. My dad
dude,
to come
I've waited at airports for so long.
I'm sure you have.
I mean, I might have been in and out of there in 20 minutes.
I'm like, oh my God. It's insane amount of time.
Welcome back to Show Me Yours podcast with Jackie and Jonny. I'm Jackie Agnew.
Hi, I'm Jonny DeVito.
And I'm Mataibo.
You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right you are.
And
while we got you here, hit all the likes, hit all the subscribes, do all the business. Leave a comment.
Leave a comment, 5-star review.
Yeah, leave a positive comment about us, hateful comment about your dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or about mine.
Or about ties. Yeah.
Probably about ties.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking last night?
About ties.
There we go. Okay.
No, I was like thinking.
Wow, 10 seconds, gang. That's a new record.
I was thinking my favorite Ty wants a dad moment is when we were in Vernon at my dad's and coming out onto the deck and seeing you and Tim enjoying a de-alcoholized beer together.
Oh, but dude, it's kind of crazy to say that because I was also reminiscing about that time the other day. Tim, if you're out there, I just want to say that. I got a couple of non-alcoholic brewskis in the fridge for you. He knew his shit about non-alcoholic beer because I was like, I don't know, I don't really fuck with it. And he was like, oh, listen, you gotta fuck it. But that Belgian one he had was super good.
He seems to be quite the connoisseur.
He's super into them. When we were kids, he always had the O'Douls, but now like
I think that's my idea of what there's out there. But I'm like, okay, I'm sure there's like tons of shit now.
Yeah, my dad will have the Beck's or the like Worcester.
The Beck's is good.
One. There's one that starts with a W. That's like okay, I'll have one of them. But
Weizen or whatever. There's a couple good German ones. And apparently the Budweiser one is pretty good.
Yes, it is. Yeah. The white can.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Right on.
But follow us on Instagram, Facebook, subscribe. That's the important
the most important part. Absolutely. Today I'm not necessarily even like it's definitely an album that we're talking about, but more of a grander scheme. But before before we wax poetic about that stuff. Yeah. Actually, even before we get into the story, can we just thank Ravi real quick?
Yeah.
What a week.
Yeah. We've had
if we seem a little
off
or slow. Because I've probably had an ounce of marijuana this week, just to myself. And
I drank an entire bar jar and broke my thumb last night.
Definitely got into it.
Repeat guest is a great friend of the podcast. Ravi got married this week. It was our first. I don't know what was that was my first Indian wedding experience.
Never
my
experienced
first
anything
Indian
like that.
wedding experience. It was
super dope.
So much fun. Yeah. But if our timing's a little off today.
Yes.
That's why we're
you might notice it a little bit slow, but you know what? We're coming with the same attitude, same energy, same kind of love, right? So
of course,
keep up with us, flashers. Jesus Christ! Hopefully you're hungover too on this fine Monday.
On this Monday.
Well, it's when the episode comes out. That's what I'm saying.
I understood.
Oh, okay, good. Fuck.
Really
I'm gonna explain. I'm doing this thing where I'm explaining my jokes now.
But we have, as previously stated, a good album to get into. But before that,
yes,
we got an album or a fuck.
Here we go.
We got a ghost story.
It's very exciting. In the spirit of Halloween, in the spirit of October, we're now entering spooky season, and there's nothing more than a horny ghost story.
Yes.
That I enjoy.
I don't know if you've heard, but American Airlines are seemingly haunted.
That's what the people are saying.
Yeah. A rash of noises described as explosive diarrhea, vomiting, and a weird, vaguely sexual moan hit an American Airlines flight last week. It's not the only one. The flight from LAX to DFW. What's DFW?
Maybe it's
Delaware.
Delaware, yeah.
Very spooky. A lot of spooky stuff happening in Delaware.
Yeah. Did not go as planned. Emerson Collins, an actor from Los Angeles, remembers the noises started off before the plane even took off. Strange grumblings, a weird sound like somebody was on the verge of throwing up. They were coming from the plane's loudspeaker. Flight attendants assured passengers it was a technical mix-up. It was presumed that once the flight got underway, the noises would cease. Instead, they continued for hours. Weird guttural moans and grunts projected over the intercom, apparently coming from nowhere.
Now, basically, as they've looked into it a little bit more, they find out that the
radio,
the intercom system on the airplane is hardwired in. So basically, if it wasn't one of the staff or crew members that are on,
be some sort
it
of
couldn't be somebody that could have just kind of like tapped into this, and done it from the other side, right?
Throw out this wild theory right away. You know, they always get us to turn our phones off. Maybe that's why.
Oh, they're like, man, all
maybe some
planes are
dude's
haunted.
just watching porn.
Yeah,
Right?
could be.
I mean, if that's I think
Of
the thing
people
about
puking
like,
and
right. If you're having a rough morning, and you know what I mean, sometimes like for me, the amount of like liquid that I put into my body, say the night before, and if I'm going to really go hard in the paint, a similar amount of that liquid is going to come out the backside, right? Like sometimes, like I'm a fucking rocket.
Johnny
ship
has just
sometimes.
described his morning to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that vaguely orgasmic sound of relief, you know what I mean? Like this basically just sounds like, you know what I mean? Like somebody's really rough, 20 minutes. But if this is proceeding for the entire duration of the flight.
Right.
This man is sick. This man has had a bad food experience.
Yes.
But
what kind of a ghost is like, so if it's a ghost situation, is it just like the ghost of a sick man?
Right? Like it's crazy. So there is
the ghost of a man who shit himself to death on the airplane?
Yeah, maybe. The
ghost of he's the phantom shitter of flight 305.
Right.
Yes.
The legendary.
As it goes, right? I mean, it's a tale as old as time. We've all heard it. But I think the interesting thing with this particular scenario is that what are your guys' rules on ghosts as far as like haunting locations?
Haunting locations?
Yes. So if say if tragedy occurred and you died in a horrific way, that your spirit was not ready to leave this realm and is going to stay in some kind of apparition ghost situation, where obviously home, you know what I mean, hauntings of a residence is definitely very important. But say. It even goes deeper into that in a lot of stories where it's specified to like one room. You know what I mean? Like you don't go in that room, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Right? Haunting of Bly Manor, I believe, had a very like fantastic Netflix show. I definitely recommend that.
Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, was it
too.
Hill House as well? Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Have you watched those ones?
No, I watched like Ghost Brothers or whatever though.
Oh, okay.
like the Hunters?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
dude. Like, what do you think
dope.
about like? Would you guys consider buying like
that radio
like
thing?
e-meters and stuff like that? Like what?
That radio thing,
electromagnetic
is the packiest
frequencies.
shit. That radio thing is the biggest load. That is just an AM radio, sir. That is just an AM.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I don't know what's happening. Like, it literally just sounds like a dial being turned. Like, like.
I feel like if you had it, that it would bring your ghost hunting like a little bit more legitimacy. You know what I mean? When you showed up to
There's a line though. There's a line of like, oh, you've gone so far over the top with all this equipment that it's not legitimate anymore.
I don't
like. You know?
Do you know what kind of stuff that they're using other than like an e-meter? Because that's like for like electromagnetic frequency, right? Are they like infrared cameras, things like that?
Yeah, they've got all the like
the
usual.
They're just always like
usual
night
vision.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
A lot of night
Did you hear
vision.
that?
Yeah.
But yeah.
yeah. Okay. So like we're into the haunting.
But that's what I immediately went to this. It was as soon as you said the story because I was like, well, that's weird that a plane is haunted. Because I'm like, doesn't it have to have people die in it? And I'm like, and if people die in this plane, I'm assuming that it's crashed somewhere.
Yeah.
Which means
people
probably
die
not
every
flying
day,
again.
right?
Die
Imagine.
on
I
board
think.
of a plane. I think that's a thing.
Oh.
People have to just then
I guarantee
fly
people
with
have
the
been
dead
murdered
body.
on planes. People have committed suicide on planes.
Yeah,
People have died from
right.
natural causes on planes. Like there's been plenty
it's
of deaths
definitely
in
a
the sky.
thing. Maybe it is. Yeah, maybe this is.
People have been bitten by snakes on planes.
Oh,
and died
all
that
the
way.
time. All the
A lot
time.
of people
Yeah.
died on that plane.
Totally.
Yeah.
we lost some good men out
some
there.
good people.
Absolutely.
Some bad people too.
Oh,
but
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Hell,
I went to open. I went to sneak preview night of that movie.
Really?
Oh,
It was,
really?
it was amazing.
Oh, that's
got hammered.
so
and
rad.
fucking
I think that once studios need to start doing that, like advertising, because it kind of came out as like, look at how ridiculous this is.
Totally.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Like, this
over
is
the top,
so
yeah.
stupid, but
Yeah.
you're gonna watch it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I think that is like a genre in itself, like movies that are like so over the top and ridiculous. That's kind of the selling point.
Yeah.
you know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
But like airplanes kind of lend themselves to like fantastic filmmaking and like a Con Air,
Oh.
airplane, Soul Plane,
Alive.
Alive. Fuck yeah, dude.
Ooh, yeah.
Bro, I used to fucking.
The stakes are high. And
Yeah.
Right? Oh man, so when I was like, they flew like over the Rockies, right?
Yeah,
Alive, that's the whole
yeah.
fucking thing.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid and I had to go fly, like I'd see like my grandparents or sometimes my dad. I
I
had to fly as
story.
yeah.
less frequently as the years went on.
Yeah. So the flight attendant said to her as I handed my ticket, she's like, "Sure, kid." Yeah. So I'd have to fly as an unaccompanied minor or an
Dude, I had a green hat with the red letters, bro.
Dude,
so
I was
good.
get named. It was
Yeah.
the worst, dude. I hated it.
Yeah.
It was
I hated it
the
too.
worst.
Yeah.
And my mom would just like razz
She's
me.
also just like you're just like signaling to predators, like
Totally.
unaccompanied minor.
Hey,
right
guys.
here.
Because there wasn't anybody.
No, not that one.
Yeah, it was. I felt so uncomfortable doing that because when I landed off the plane, my dad had to like fucking go, like they basically took me into a room and I was sitting with a fucking stranger. I was more scared of that guy,
and
just waiting for what I mean. My
Oh,
dad
dude,
to come
I've
into
waited
that
at
fucking
airports
room.
for so long.
I'm
It's
sure
like,
you
I mean, I might have been in and out of there in 20 minutes.
Dude, I'm like, oh my god, like insane amount of time. It's like my old man. One time it happened with my nana because like my plane got delayed, but like, or they thought it did. Like my mom was like, I'm still looking at the plane, like at the tarmac, like it hasn't taken off yet. But like I don't know. I guess she looked away at some point, and some planes like switched places. And I was just at the airport, but it was kind of a late flight. They were like calling my nana to come pick me up, and they don't pick up the phone. It was great. And they're like, "Who is this?"
Oh my god, tragic.
Dude, my mom would razz me the whole time too, like, do you want anything to eat before you go? Or like, oh, dude, I was like, oh, wait, this, I have no idea where I was going with this story. I was
Well, no, I don't know, but I'm with you. I hated it. I was like 6 foot fucking. I was like still like a 13-year-old kid that was like pretty close to 6 feet tall. Like I could probably handle
he was
myself.
walking in with a
They're like,
mustache.
yeah, dude. They're like, no, you have to wear the hat. Put that fucking hat on. And I was so mad.
Oh, you had to wear a hat. No, there was a huge pin at one time, and then one time it was like a lanyard with like a backstage pass.
Yeah, I had a hat in.
Which I did not appreciate either.
Yeah, it was crazy.
yeah, hat is crazy.
Yeah, and I didn't keep the hat obviously, so I'm just pretty sure it's just like the same hat that just goes around. Like it's all these unaccompanied minors. Like that's how lice is spread throughout North America. The unaccompanied minor system on Air Canada's flights. But back to the haunting here.
Mm-hmm.
If a ghost could haunt an airplane, is the point where the ghost can kind of like break through and kind of make contact, with the living?
Right.
Would it be through an intercom speaker, and would it be the sounds of groaning and taking a shit?
Well, maybe that's how he died, like on the toilet.
Yeah,
That's
And
where I'm
then-
going. Yeah,
yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
it's-
And now, like, that's the easiest way to reach all the people, right?
because it's not his fault. You know what I mean? Like he died, like his body's not ready to leave, but so like his soul is just forever trapped in that bathroom
purgatory.
taking a shit. He's just for shitting forever.
Yeah, he was probably a bad person then growing up.
Totally, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what you have to do to piss off the universe like that it's going to hold you in captivity.
To die in the tiniest bathroom.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Taking,
Oh, God,
just
the
just
worst
taking
fucking
a forever
bathroom, yeah.
shit too. Just
Oh.
that is crazy in every flight because they're
Although
saying
I've
this is
been
not the first time
violently
that
ill.
it's
I've been
happened.
violently ill on a plane, like eating bad
I was
tacos.
just gonna ask, yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Coming back
Yeah.
from Mexico.
I don't.
Thrown up on the
know.
plane. Did you?
Oh yeah,
throw
and shitting my face out. Like,
Oh,
I just
yeah.
like
Oh, no.
pale white. It was like come back from Mexico.
Nice.
I ate these street tacos, but they were so good.
Hell yeah.
And the whole time I was like, I was puking shit. I'm like, I could probably eat like 12 of those tacos right now. I was like, I don't care. I was like, they were so good, dude.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
fucking
I
did.
was wasted one time when I was my mom sent out a lasagna like right after I graduated. So I was living in the Okanagan. So she sent us lasagna out like kind of frozen. I think a family member kind of like transported it or whatever, kind of dropped it off or whatever, right? So it's, it's kind of like half thought out through the day. I'm like, I'm eating this fucking lasagna tonight, and I ate it, and then I proceeded to get hammered, and then I kind of threw it up, but I remember it being like, well, it's not so bad because that lasagna is delicious, and like that's a disgusting story, but yeah, so
that is a disgusting.
I probably should have kept that to myself.
Yeah, I've been super,
shout out to my mom's lasagna.
I don't know if I've been like actually sick on a plane, but I remember when I was coming back from when I went to the UK, like right before COVID, the night before, I was staying with my little brother and his girlfriend in Bristol, but I was taking off out of London. So the night before, the day before, my little brother and I went to London and kind of did, the day in London or whatever, and stayed in the shittiest fucking Airbnb, but got back at like fucking 4 a.m. and my flight was at 6 type thing. And I was so fucking hungover. I literally I was like holding the fucking barf bag being like, is this going to fucking happen right now? And the lady sitting, I was on the window seat, and the lady sitting beside me kept she was watching the TV with no headphones, but was like out loud reacting to what was happening on the TV, and she fucking barefoot took her fucking shoes off.
Fucking animal.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I was like,
I would have puked.
Oh man, I was pretty close. I was
I've let her fly. I've let her fly on an airplane. I came down to see a hockey game with my brother, and at the time he was living in Maple Ridge, and there's a bar out there called the Fox and Hound, and they had this promotion where for $80 or something like that, it was cheap. You get a burger and a beer at the bar, and then you get on a Greyhound bus, and they send you down all the way into Vancouver to the
what
Canucks
a
game.
deal.
Yeah.
Burger and a beer and an 18-hour Greyhound bus
right.
ride.
It was actually pretty quick because it was one stop. They just got on the highway and kind of booted down, and we were partying on the bus the entire time. So it was fucking awesome.
Well, it's a Greyhound. That's
yeah,
exactly. Enough said.
Or it wasn't a great. At least it was a private charter bus or whatever, right? But it was kind of the same build, same situation.
A little less knives.
Yeah, exactly. Right, haunted shitter in the back, right, where the ghost of some guys just
Greyhound's
going
haunted
off
for sure.
Oh, dude, Greyhounds have to be haunted. Right?
Yeah.
I was definitely going to bring
more
that
people
up
have died on the Greyhound than on the plane.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Guaranteed. A guy got his fucking head sawn off. Shout out to that guy. That ghost still haunts a Greyhound bus in a fucking in a lot because they're all. It's that
ghost
not even
haunted
operated. That bus
closed.
is just stopped.
That's how much it haunted the Greyhound. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Due to ghosts.
So it was after that game. I went really hard in the paint with my brother, and my brother really likes Fireball, and I'm not a huge Fireball fan, but I remember having more of it than I needed, and then I had an early flight out the next morning. So when I landed in Kelowna, it was so hot in the plane, and for whatever reason, the plane was just sitting there. They're waiting for some other plane to get out of the way or whatever, right? So we were sitting there for way too long, and when I let it fly, it was just it was Fireball again, and I was I was just
cinnamon
I was in I didn't even think about the other people on the plane at that time because I was just handling what I had to handle, and then I could hear somebody a few seats away being is that fucking Fireball? And the whole they fucking knew too, the whole the plane smelled like cinnamon. It was disgusting. Yeah.
God, hearing this story hungover currently,
I was
I'm having
say,
a visceral reaction.
Even I'm
Well, I mean, it's I guess I don't really mean to gross out you or the listener, but you know what I mean. It's a vomiting, shitting, ghost, right? Which is fascinating. Ghost. But there's been there's other haunted automobiles. If you guys are familiar with ghost trains.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Oh, babe, the phenomena of ghost train is in all over the world. There's been reports of people in towns where the predominant transportation is a train, not a ghost. It's a ghost.
Everyone just hitches a ride.
I just picture David S. Pumpkins. You guys remember Tom Hanks from the SNL sketch?
Yeah.
He's just
yeah.
I'm David S. Pumpkins. Any questions?
Any questions?
It's so fucking stupid.
Oh fuck, that was good.
Yes, I have so many questions. But basically, so all these people have reported basically seeing an apparition of an actual train, which is fascinating because normally it's obviously like the spirit of an individual that's walking, right? And they're seeing, so say like this train went off the tracks and everybody on it died, whatever the case is. But you know what I mean? There's late night trains going to wherever, and they've been. I went down a YouTube rabbit hole on this one time where they had all these different reports from like Canada and the United States, South America, and like Argentina, and France and Japan as well. And it was fucking crazy. Like all over the world, people are kind of, like reporting the same, spooky kind of stuff. Now, that being said, there's shadow governments doing all kinds of, illicit things or whatever. And you know what I mean? Sometimes like in America, that's what they fucking transport, like, massive fucking like nuclear artillery or whatever is late at night, you know what I mean? Right through the streets and stuff like that, just, right on a train that's connected, right?
Michigan.
Absolutely. And for anybody that's it's into conspiracies out there, there is a show on Netflix. It's a cartoon and it's absolutely hilarious. And it's called Inside Job. And it basically follows this young lady who works for the literal shadow government. There's an organization which is basically called Cognito Incorporated, which is a fun little play on words. And basically everything that the conspiracy theorists think or whatever, there's lizard people and the Illuminati and all that stuff, and it's absolutely hilarious. So anybody that wants to go down there, party with me. Anyway, that could be there's a lot of trains that are going on the track that aren't necessarily on your scheduled train time list or whatever, right? Whatever you would call it, your train schedule, right?
So like that English kid who watches trains on Instagram. You see that? He gets very excited.
Yeah.
He looks a little bit like Darburg, as a matter of fact.
Like with the GoPro or whatever.
Yeah,
totally.
With the 360. Yeah, he gets so excited about trains.
Yeah.
I get excited.
So I feel like ghosts lend themselves to trains quite well.
Totally.
They're always naming the train the spirit of something.
Yeah, kind of like a fairy.
Yeah, totally.
Interesting.
Ooh, I bet there's a haunted fairy.
There has to be a haunted everything, right? Like, I mean, the same rule applies if the death is tragic enough and your soul is not ready to leave this realm.
But so what do we classify as haunted? Because if you're a ghost believer, ghosts are everywhere. But when does it become a haunting?
I think when the spirit is not at rest, and when the basically. So I think that if it's reaching out or doing anything that it can to get either. In the Haunting of Bly Manor situation,
that's a really
into,
good
a younger person's body, or or trying to move past or whatever, right? But I think that
where do you draw the line, though? It's great because you flicking the light on and off. Not haunting. I'm not haunted by that. It's annoying. But if you're like,
fuck up, man.
But if you're like standing over my bed and breathing like cold death air over me, then that's fucking haunting.
Definitely.
I think the level of creepiness or the level of danger.
Those goes just not good.
Right?
Yeah.
By the light.
Totally, right?
I'm like, okay, this is super
freak him out.
fucking annoying.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because I mean, well, there's so
a
in the
fuse
level
is
of
out.
like, all right. So I would say that unfortunately the plane is haunted by the guy that's taking a shit. Unfortunately, but it's not like necessarily in a dangerous situation, like in an Amityville horror situation where a guy's gonna murder his family. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I think that in the level as it goes, but that being said, say if there's a pilot that is I don't know if pilots fly the same plane all the time or if they're kind of going from different planes or whatever, right? That would probably make more sense. But if there's like somebody that has to work on this plane, time and time again or whatever, and then they become haunted and now like they're doing some like vomiting and shitting and sexual moanings or whatever like that. If that got to that person and then that harmed
I feel like pilots are usually hammered anyway, right? So they're probably doing a lot of that puking and shit. Anyway.
Dude,
they just recently, like within the last couple years, made the law that pilots can't fly intoxicated. Like it was in the last 2 years.
That's so awesome.
It's so great.
Yeah.
I think it's like it's the weirdest job to be associated with alcoholism because like dock workers or you know what I mean, like there's you could see it like from like a construction or like a blue collar aspect or from like a high society stockbroker businessman type thing with like martinis and stuff. There's a drinking culture that kind of surrounds every occupation or whatever. But pilots are just like airport bar.
How many of those are on the job though? Like, I don't feel like, are construction workers just boozing all the time on the job?
Not necessarily.
I don't think so, right?
No, but like
I think
there
it's more
are
like an
there,
after work.
there
thing.
people.
Yeah.
What drug addicts use on site, and I think that's like, you know, I've seen like you know, burnt tinfoil in the fucking and the urinal thing in bathrooms and stuff like that or whatever. So I think that's pretty common for, you know, guys that
What do you do
just
as a
have
foreman,
to kind
right?
of keep it going.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
You're like, listen,
That's
that's
why-
really productive.
That's 100%. Honestly, like,
He's
yeah, if
very
you're-
fast.
Yeah, just don't, you know, lift anything heavy with him. Like, don't, you know, kind of put your life in his hands or whatever. But other than that guy will fucking move twice
Yeah,
as
we're not
fast. as
strapping
anybody.
harnesses to anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
I just need to go lift that boulder over there.
Yeah. He will fucking work that shovel all day. Give him some meth. But I was thinking about with ghost trains on the topic of that. There's this thing online that I saw called the most evil car in America. Mm-hmm. So now I think this is where the level of haunting kind of goes up, because this is more of like a ghost car situation. Mm-hmm. Like have you ever seen what was that movie called Rubber, or like something like that, where it's just the tire that's just rolling and it just kills people?
That's hilarious.
It's awesome.
No. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's called something. Yeah, definitely.
Like just a tire, like it keeps
That's
rolling.
the whole.
Yes,
That's the
it's
whole
fantastic.
Because who
story.
doesn't love watching a tire roll?
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
right.
amazing.
It's great. It's fucking fantastic.
Rubber.
Right? Yeah, I think it's called Rubber. Tire. I don't know, but yeah, it's one word title. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, so apparently the most evil car in America is a 1964 Dodge 330 that came to be known as the most evil car in America after it allegedly killed more than a dozen people.
Oh wow.
Now, the car was first purchased by a police unit, and during the car's career as a police vehicle, 3 officers drove it. Mm-hmm. Each of these officers who drove the car ended up committing murder-suicides, where they were first murdered their families and then killed themselves. The eerie similarities made people wonder if the car was possessing its drivers.
Must be the car, not
Right?
their
Gotta
job.
be the car,
not
yeah.
their job.
The car was then sold from the police
Why
by
don't
the
they
police
destroy
department.
this fucking car?
Well, they didn't get rid of it because
Yeah.
that's how fucking corrupt the fucking police system is. Is that, hey, we could probably get a couple bucks for this, and they sold it to a poor woman called Wendy Allen, who had a similar spooky experience with the vehicle.
She got a good deal on that car, though.
You bet
Yeah.
your fucking ass she did, right? A police auction.
I had a friend who bought a Pathfinder on that because some guy offed himself in this Pathfinder. And he was just like we were like 17. And he was like, I'm like, how do you have it? He's like, dude, I got it from this police auction.
You see
Yeah,
that
it's
stain on the
nothing.
seat? That's how I got it.
Yeah, for real.
It's fucking nuts. So she had a similar spooky experience with the vehicle. When Wendy drove on the highway, the car would open its doors without anyone touching it and jam its steering wheel and placing the passengers in harm's way. When members of a local church heard about the car's reputation, they went out and vandalized the car in an attempt to stop it from being used. The story goes that many of those who vandalized the car ended up decapitated by an 18-wheeler truck, with one member struck by lightning.
Jesus.
So basically, and then in 2007, a child who supposedly touched the car went on to kiss his entire family, much the same way as the 3 went on to kill his entire family. I was like,
that's
this
nice.
is getting weird. This is getting super weird.
That's kind of a creepy kid.
He went to kill his entire family, much like the same way that the 3 police officers. And after this tragedy, local church members stole the car and chopped it up into small pieces, sending the pieces into multiple junkyards to ensure that it never reassembled. As far as we know, the car hasn't come back.
Oh my god.
Now that I don't know if VoloMuseum.com, VoloCars.com. I don't know how. I don't have any sources on.
I mean, they
this
got
stuff.
cars in the title, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, they sound legit.
Absolutely, right? You know what I mean? I feel like somebody would have called bullshit on it. The comment section was pretty pretty positive towards that.
Mm-hmm.
So now, like a plane could never be like a killer car, right? So a car could fuck everybody up in it, or everybody that comes in contact with it. But I feel like a plane's, they would have to have some kind of self-preservation,
Right.
if the plane itself was haunted, or if it was occupied by one particular spirit. I think that would be a
Right.
different story.
Well, I mean, I think this spirit, it doesn't seem like there's any ill will. I think he's just kind of reliving his own nightmare. Like, I don't think.
He doesn't wish that on anyone.
Yeah. Though,
sure.
I
He's
mean, there
warning
is
you
like
over
a
that.
little bit
Absolutely.
of he wants everyone else to kind of suffer with him, because this went on.
Yeah, he's
throughout
like, don't have the
whole
lobster
flight.
roll.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
airport sushi is
Yeah.
not what's up,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. Yeah, Delaware sushi. Not so good.
But there is a video of the sound. So these sounds started over the intercom before takeoff and continued throughout the flight. They couldn't stop it, and after landing, still had no idea what it was. Collins later tweeted with a video of the flight, which went viral. In an interview with Gizmodo, Collins characterized the noises as a cross between explosive diarrhea, vomiting, and a weird, vaguely sexual moan. Having listened to the noises, this writer would add a bad impression of Boris Karloff as Frankenstein's monster. Okay, they're getting a little...
They're fucking... This guy's like... They mentioned this guy too much. He's like an actor or something like that.
Yeah.
Who, Boris Karloff?
Okay.
No.
Yeah. But... So here we'll play... It's like a 2-minute long video, but the noises are right at the beginning.
Perfect.
Someone on this flight.
I mean...
That's
just
clearly a guy taking a shit.
Yeah.
Dude, that is a drunk pilot.
That is...
Are you kidding me?
Right?
So according to Collins, flight attendants and the pilots were just as stumped as the passengers as to what was going on.
They had a fight.
Online listeners
later
have
in this video,
speculated.
they have about 30 seconds later in this video, they make flight attendants make an online make like an announcement over the same intercom system, like that we know that this is annoying. We do nothing. We're trying to figure out what's going on or whatever.
What's going on your whole flight?
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, so they speculated that maybe the plane's speaker system might have been hacked or that someone on the flight had been pranking the other passengers. But as Jonny said, the speaker system is unable to be hacked, and given the nature of the noises, it would have been impossible for someone to do this without you hearing them do it somewhere else.
Right,
You know, someone
yeah.
on the flight was doing
sure,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming from 3B. Shut the fuck up, Jerry.
Did anybody check the black box?
Oh, good call.
The things the black box hears.
I just
When it's
feel like
parked and shit?
I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
anytime anything happens with an airplane, you just go to the black box.
Go to the black
Go
box.
to, yeah,
It's all encompassing.
we're gonna
It's
go to the
all-
black box here.
Yeah, we're gonna go see replay. We're gonna go to the black box.
I was convinced that someone on our flight was having a great time, he said, explaining that he was fully walking the aisles trying to find the groaner. However, he ultimately realized that someone couldn't be making these sounds audibly or the people around them would notice. So he returned to his seat and half expected there to be some sort of big climax for the flight's landing. No culminating moment arrived, though. The noises just stopped and everyone got off the plane. Even weirder.
I like that they want closure. Like they want him to.
Right?
They want to know. They
a
want to hear
big
the flash.
finish.
They want him
Yeah.
to come, bro.
Yeah,
exactly.
right?
Come on, bust it.
Yeah.
Bust
Yeah.
it for us.
It appears this isn't the first time that the moaning phantom of the skies
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's calm down with the flowery bullshit.
These fucking shitty journalists just try to put
I know,
so much
it's
fucking
so...
pepper into
It's,
this.
yeah.
Tell me the fucking story,
First
man.
time.
Granted that it is a silly ghost story.
has haunted an American Airlines flight. The Los Angeles Times reports at least 2 other recent incidents in which flights were plagued by weird barfing noises. Another website counts a total of 5 incidents, all of them involving LAX. When reached for comment by Gizmodo, American Airlines claimed that the groans from the flight were caused by a mechanical issue, as if that explains anything.
Right. God.
But yeah, so basically, they have no idea apparently where this moaning was coming from, but it's happened to a handful of flights.
All out of LAX, too.
All out of LAX. That part is weird.
I hate it because it's like it helps support both cases of like, oh, someone is definitely at LAX fucking with all this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's also like this ghost is staying in one place because it's this plane that this ghost.
Whoa,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe
so
it's
if
LAX,
you're,
that's
can a ghost on not only be like operate on a plane, but can a ghost haunt a particular airline? So it can only fly Delta
For sure.
the rest
Dude,
of
as
the
long
time.
as-
So
exactly.
he
So
can
it's
get off
only
and like
American
walk through Delta
Airlines.
terminals and
As
stuff.
long as he
like
doesn't
that.
go through customs.
As long as
Yeah.
He's fine.
he knows it.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
fuck. I gotta have a cigarette, but I can't. They're not gonna let me back in.
Yeah. Oh, I think Atlanta's got a smoking lounge.
Yeah, exactly.
They do. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Vegas does too. It's awesome.
Imagine fucking being on like a 6-hour flight with that going on the whole fucking
I mean,
time.
that or baby.
That's true. It's it's a toss up.
I've I could sleep
think
through
I would go
most things. I
crazy.
feel like when I get
Well,
onto
though,
a plane, I usually kind of pregame. So I get kind of nervous on planes, so I kind of like pre-drink, and then I fall asleep and shit like that. It's a great system. But.
Yeah, I usually have headphones on for the duration of the flight.
Oh,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, maybe wouldn't be too much of an issue, but
You've seen those new things that you like? It's like a pillow instead of like this one. It's like this like weird like square thing. You just like put your arms into it and just like. Looks amazing,
dude. I need that, man.
I know. I do so bad on planes. I get hella like my leg cramp up real bad.
Yeah,
like shit.
dude.
Yeah, it's not
That's just
good.
being too tall. My buddy's got video of me flying to Vegas for punk rock bowling. My buddies came out like a day before, and we pre-gamed the whole trip basically. So by the time we had to fly out at like 5 a.m. or something, we didn't sleep, so we just got on the plane, but we had to transfer in Seattle. And that was the worst thing ever because we had like a 2-hour layover, and then like there's the come down, right? And like everything starts to suck. They're not serving beer and shit. It's fucking, you know what I mean? Way too early in the morning, and everything just sucked. But they have footage of me when we got on the next flight to Vegas where I just like passed out on the next plane, and they the three of them were all in the one row, and then I was in the next row over in the middle seat between two strangers, and I was passed out but like with my head forward, and I was snoring and just like knocking my head on the fucking on the pull down tray or whatever. And yeah, there's like GoPro footage of the three of them just laughing their asses off and pointing to me, and it looks like the people that are next to me
Not having it.
not happy at all.
no.
They're going to Vegas though, so like I mean, but like
Yeah,
here we
yeah.
go kind of thing. And every time that I'm on a flight to Las Vegas, there's like is either somebody's fucking like wiling out. I was on the last one that I was coming home from. Some chick was like drunk and started, getting into a fight about.
Dude, I was on a
racial
flight
stuff. It
from
was
Sao
awesome.
Paulo to Rio, and there was a full blown fist fight on the plane.
Oh
and
my
they,
god!
and guess what happened?
Nothing?
They sat them down and we took off. And they're like, yeah. They're like, sort it out. Either get the fuck out of the plane or sit down. And they're
Oh
like, all right,
my
well,
Guys, we got places to go.
We both got to go to Rio, so okay.
Yeah.
But like, these dudes were like, it was like blood. Like, it was
Whoa.
gnarly. I don't know what happened when they got there. I don't think
Fucking
anything.
insane.
That's
It was
wild.
yeah, it was nuts.
Shout out to South American
Evil fuck.
Airlines. They're just gonna let them. They got a rule. They got a hockey rule. It's like as soon as they get on the ground, we'll stand.
Hey, for real, dude. That's what it felt like. Yeah,
We got.
all right, bring it up.
When I went to Vegas when I was 16 with my dad, we had to fucking circle around the airport. We couldn't land because Obama was taking off, so they don't let any planes
Right.
land, and so we just had to fucking circle around the airport for like an hour before we could fucking land.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Drinks. I mean, I
I was 16 at the time. Yeah.
That's even worse than like
Yeah.
back in the day when they only had a couple channels.
Yeah,
And like
right.
they'd be screwed if the president came on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
It's like the ultimate of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't land this plane because
100%.
I'm waiting for this goddamn president.
Yeah, I'm okay on planes though because my legs are short. My back gets pretty fucked
Yeah,
up,
we've been
but
on a couple of them together, and
Yeah.
I've looked at you, been like, you bitch.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there cross
But
legged.
that's how you know it's a bad flight. We start
Yeah.
resenting
Totally.
the person
Yeah,
for their
absolutely.
body. Look at
Yeah.
this piece of
Dude,
shit.
she could look at the way she's sitting right now. She
Yeah.
can just sit cross-legged on a plane, just like comfortable and stuff. And I'm like,
When
bad.
we went
like, fucking packed in.
when we went to Ottawa last summer, the way there actually, the flight was pretty empty, and so we had the full like row to ourselves, so that was nice. But then the way back, we were like up right at the front, which was nice, so you get like a bunch of leg room. But then where the wall was, it was like perfect length for me to rest, like stretch out my legs and rest them on the wall, and I was so comfy. And then the fucking flight attendant. Oh, first of all, since we were sitting right at the front, the closest bathroom, which was literally 2 steps away, at the beginning of the flight attendant comes and she's like, and if you guys need to use the bathroom, you're going to have to use the ones at the back of the plane because these are the first class washrooms. So we're already like, fuck this bitch.
Yeah.
And then, and I was resting my feet, and then she comes and she's like, you need to take your feet down. I'm like, why? It's a fucking wall. Like, who the
Yeah.
fuck cares if
Totally.
my legs are fucking, if my feet are touching this fucking wall?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
just
Fuck
hate,
that shit.
yeah, fucking flight attendants that get up their own asses. I mean, I don't say anything about it.
Yeah, dude, you
I'm
put those
upset,
fucking
though.
legs down.
Yeah.
Oh man. But shit, I guess. Well, yeah. Okay. Speaking of like ghost stories and fucking at Vegas or whatever, I guess we could like somehow make an awkward segue because guys, today we're talking about punk covers. One album in general. I guess this one's not necessarily punk covers. This is taking punk rock and making it a little bit more beautiful. We are talking about Paddy by Dave Hause, a very recent release covering some Dillinger 4 songs, which are very near and dear to my heart, all written by Paddy Patrick Costello, the bass player and one of the members of Dillinger 4. How do you guys feel about acoustic vibes today?
I like a good acoustic vibes.
Yeah?
I'm into it. I'm into the acoustic vibes.
It was It was nice this morning getting to listen to a chill album.
Yeah, it was like a Pennywise album.
Yeah, exactly. Society! Fuck, Jonny. We got it. But this was actually cool because this is... have you guys ever met your heroes?
No.
No? Never met a hero? I got a chance to meet these fellas. And I think that's the cool thing about punk rock music and Las Vegas with punk rock bowling and like these festivals and stuff like that. Cause
It's very accessible.
It puts everybody in the same thing. Yeah, exactly. You realize that these guys, there's an allure to Dillinger 4 that they could be on tour and make as much music as they want to and stuff, but they just have like their other lives going on and things like that. And the idea of them making more music is not necessarily of their highest priority. So every year Fat Records will call them and be like, hey, do you guys want to make an album that will be heavily promoted and you guys could tour behind it and the whole thing? And they'll just be like, nah. Yeah. And there's like something kind of rad about that. But when I was walking through one of the casinos, I was wearing a Dillinger 4 shirt, and they're an elusive band, so it's kind of hard to see them and stuff. So the Lawrence Arms dropped out of the last year's punk rock bowling, so they Dillinger 4 was set to just play a club show, and then they ended up doing like the main stage or whatever. So I was very excited getting to see one of your favorite bands kind of twice in 2 days. Yeah. And then I walked through the casino, and these guys just kind of turned around at a blackjack table, and they saw my Dillinger 4 shirt, and everybody was wearing masks or whatever on the casino floor, and they were just like, that band fucking sucks. And then they took their things down or whatever, and it was kind of them, right? So you just get to meet them, and they're like, you're right, the accessibility was incredible. Like a few minutes later, I was at the bar with my friends, and then they were kind of leaving to go to another casino or whatever happened, and I saw the guitar player for this band that I fucking love, and I'm sitting there, and I'm drunk, and I'm a social butterfly. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to make some friends, like, all the time, right? And I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm going to go and just say what's up to this dude. I'm not going to fanboy out or be, like, a total dick or anything like that, but we maybe had, like, 5 minutes of conversation, and through that, it was just naturally kind of, like, led to, like, spooky kind of Halloween stuff and comedy. So we were, like, he had, like, like, a horror movie T-shirt on or something like that, and kind of blah, 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 what do you do? And then so he's just a huge comedy fan, and then all of a sudden, you fast forward to 7 a.m, where we're just drinking Jameson straight, and you're just kind of like, holy shit, like this is like one of those things if you would have told like a 14-year-old me that was like,
yeah, it would have blown your fucking mind.
Absolutely, right? And like it wasn't even like that special though. It was just like, just dudes hanging out, man. Know? But I think that band is so it's so special to me because like when we were driving through the Okanagan, every fucking where that I went, I was like, oh, I used to work here, right? Like I have a fucking very long history of like at the beginning of Wayne's World.
I have an extensive of name tags and hairnets.
Yeah, dude. And it started like I was too young to even like get a job legally or whatever, but my parents knew the manager of Zellers, so I'm out there like pushing shopping carts and shit like way too fucking early. And there was always this like this feeling or whatever that you're making boss makes $1, you make a dime. There's what I mean, this whole like the blue collar kind of like fuck the man or whatever has always been like heavily ingrained in me, I guess, or whatever. So when I found Dillinger 4, and I mean all these fucking all of these songs, basically the majority of them, I think, from like Midwestern Songs this summer, their first release, just kind of like it solidifies your beliefs. You know what I mean? Especially when you find something like that at a very impressionable like young age, where they're like, and especially like a music like punk rock is very like specifically singing about something's wrong here or whatever. Then I latched onto this stuff like so fucking hard, and it's really cool to kind of see it come full circle because punk rock will always take. Like, it's been my opening door to a lot of other styles of music that I didn't know who fucking John Denver was until me first in the Gimme Gimme's covered Country Roads, And then, I didn't even really know who Agent Orange was until Lagwagon covered Everything Turns Gray. And you know what I mean? Like, there's every band is like, kind of done it. Or like Pennywise with fucking Stand By Me or fucking... Lean On Me or whatever. Stand By Me. Yeah. Sorry. I don't know the original versions of any of those songs. Those are all just like punk covers or whatever to me. Yeah. Mamas and the Papas. California Dreamin' and all that stuff is actually like a high standard song to me.
Yeah,
right? But now on this version, like it's kind of funny to see somebody take something that's like a hard, fast hardcore song or whatever that's really just like a minute and 50 seconds or whatever, but you you can see how dense the lyrics are and stuff like that, and he can see like the beauty in that song, and we're gonna stretch this thing out, and we're gonna put a piano on it and have a lady singing backing vocals and stuff like that. It's very cool, and I found myself grooving to a lot of the softies.
Into the softy.
Yeah, you know what I mean, which is kind of cool.
Thanks.
And it's really cool when I can do that, and the music still has the the same message and the driving force behind it.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Where do you guys stand on covers in general?
I like covers. Yeah, I think it's fun to, especially, I like covers when, someone's putting their own spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
If they're just doing the same song,
Totally.
then it's kind of like, well, what's the point of this?
Mm-hmm.
But
I think Lagwagon Summer with Everything Turns Gray. It's the exact same song. You know what I mean, right? I think Boys of Summer, the Ataris could have fucking done something a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But yeah, there's it's nice to kind of maybe make songs that you wouldn't have listened to like more accessible to you, and kind of you can hear the lyrics more. I like surprisingly a couple Red Hot Chili Peppers covers.
Okay, let's go. What do you got?
Who covers?
Slain, my favorite actually is Slain Castle.
Oh, sorry,
live.
Red Hot Chili Peppers covering other people. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Live when John does Maybe, just a little interlude there. That was great.
He's got a bunch of interludes.
Oh,
like he does like
so
How Deep
good.
Is Your Love?
Yeah.
Which is like the Bee Gees song is
All
so
of
good,
his.
dude.
We watched
I Feel Love by Donna
Yeah.
Summer
Yeah.
and Giorgio Moroder.
I mean, his range. He's such an incredible vocalist.
Yeah.
Like his range is.
they also
it's
do
crazy.
Havana Affair.
I was just gonna say
Yeah,
that was gonna be my
yeah.
next
yeah,
one.
that's
Yeah, that was
probably
gonna be my
my
next one.
favorite.
And they also do that at Slain Castle, but they also have it recorded as well on the By the Way album.
I Get
Really?
Around by the Beach Boys. They do that at
Yeah.
like some rock and roll hall, and it's unbelievable. They do the 3-part harmonies. Like it's fucking crazy how
Yeah.
they do it. Yeah,
I
it's,
want to
Yeah,
hear
they do
Anthony
some
Kiedis
great-
sing it. No banana.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You've seen it. You've
I've
seen
seen
it
it.
because
Oh.
it's
it's
super
on the Slain
it's
Castle.
way slower.
They
Oh,
on
really?
the
Oh, yeah,
Slain
it's
Castle.
like halftime.
Yeah, at the beginning
Crazy.
they're like, "This is a Ramones song," though it doesn't sound like a Ramones song at all. And yeah, it's like,
Oh, cool.
PT boat on the way to Havana. Like it's really slow. It's really slow.
Very cool.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's cool though. Yeah,
I like that. Yeah, especially
Yeah.
if you're gonna cover something, and especially like a Ramones song or whatever. Fucking slow it. Yeah, that's rad.
It was sick. Yeah, that's a good
yeah,
one.
yeah. They have some good, like punk covers. So they slow down. But yeah.
I think it's getting really popular now that I think a lot of the bands, I guess of the generation that the bands that I kind of really like identify with, they're obviously like aging and stuff. If I'm 30, then because some of these guys have got to be like 50 now, so it's like really common for lead singers of punk bands to like put on flannel shirts and kind of make like a cut an acoustic album. You know what I mean? Because the guy who did this one, listeners remember from the Falcon, Dave House played on that stuff and the Loved Ones, and he also has a solo side project as well and stuff.
I have
like
a
that,
theory
so.
about this. Because I feel like punk rock is so percussive. It's very like that snare is
Absolutely.
so important.
Yes.
And acoustic guitar is, especially steel string, is a very percussive instrument.
It lends itself very beautifully,
yeah,
I think,
yeah.
to like it's like
Like
a
all those
stripped
think
down,
about like
simple
think about
version.
Neil Young playing
Sure.
like massive like those like chunks and stuff that is
Yeah.
like those types of really percussive like sounds that he
Fuck
gets out of it. So I feel like it lends itself really well to punk rock music.
Definitely, that
yeah,
makes
that
sense,
instrument in
for sure.
general.
Yeah.
Do you find that's actually I never even thought about it like that. Is there a lot of there's like say like metal, like is there a lot of people that are covering metal and having it like be as popular or reaching the same, like I'm curious if metalheads now as they age, if they're listening to somebody do like Slayer covers on acoustic, or if that's even up their alley. I think it'd be
Some of those songs you can, but some of those some of those techniques in metal can only be done because of an amp
yes.
or a
Sure.
certain whatever, right? Where it's
Sure.
like punk rock is like pretty bare bones. There's not a whole
Absolutely.
lot of like there's a distortion pedal and a clean tone.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Totally.
You don't even really hear a lot of chorusy pedals, like
Yeah.
and all that stuff. It's just pretty like still guitar.
Definitely, when you see like a 5-string bass,
There's
or
some
like,
cool
or
metal
a
covers, but,
pedal
like-
board or something, you're kind of like, oh fuck, look at this.
Yeah,
guy.
there's some cool
it's
metal
like
covers
him
for
to
sure,
play.
but it's like it's a lot of like harmonizing two guitars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But to play a lot of those like double taps and all, I don't know.
Definitely.
That's my idea of metal. It's just double taps. That's so much metal I have to do. Those kids with their double taps.
But there's well, I think like
I think punk rock for sure lends itself, especially to specifically to the steel string guitar. Yeah,
definitely. I think that actually on the weirdly enough, there is some acoustic metal that I have heard, and there's a Cannibal Corpse cover band called Acoustic Corpse.
Nice.
That I recommend I Come Blood because it's hilarious.
That's so funny.
I come blood, I come blood, I come blood from my erection.
I believe that I've expressed several times on this podcast that I wanted an acoustic cover band of Meatloaf called Pork Loin.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
I feel
like acoustic slow down, like not gonna slow down some of those ballads anymore, but some acoustic Meatloaf is fucking hilarious.
Totally.
Oh man, yeah.
You really get to hear how ridiculous this shit is.
Acoustic version of Paradise by the Dashboard
Oh my
Light. It'd be
God.
like fucking half an hour long.
I know, right? It's like, oh god. Yeah.
What's the longest song that you've learned? Because I mean, as an up and coming musician, I'm sure that you've played countless renditions of famous songs and stuff like that, right?
For sure. There was a lot of like classical pieces that were very long.
Okay.
Like there was a lot of those that were fucking super long when I played, but I don't know. The Stairway one was never like a huge one for me. I played classical guitar, so it was like Stairway wasn't a big fucking deal. It was just like, oh, this is amateur shit.
Yeah.
Like
Fair
it really
enough.
was. Like, it wasn't like the beginning of it was just so crazy because it was just like, oh, if you play with a pick, then it was quite hard to do. You had to like learn how to do this.
Yeah.
But if you didn't grow up playing with a pick, it was like, oh, well, this is like, I don't know, this first couple of years, like you should be able to kind of do this.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So what's the most difficult thing that you've kind of tried to emulate?
Oh man, that's a tough call. I don't know. There are songs that are like so difficult to like. I think not so difficult, but like it took so long to learn. Like I play "Here Comes the Sun" a lot. Mm-hmm. It's just like a great George Harrison song.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of a lot of the parts in the song, not just the guitar, and it's like it's tricky. There's a lot of like picking out of stuff, and I played that when I was like a little kid, and I still like play it to this day because I think I had to do it so many goddamn times to just like remember because it's such a hard piece. Yeah. There was a lot of classical pieces I don't remember anymore. Like you had to put that music in front of me for me to be like, oh right, this one.
Totally. That's fucking. I think it's interesting to know. It's kind of like a.
Any of my songs are not hard. If that's what you're getting at.
I think it's just a matter of repetition or like like learning or figuring the thing out. But I'm definitely open to lessons.
You have to take your guitar home.
I know. Kind of suddenly wanted to leave it here, so be like, "Hey, babe, why don't you me and Ty gonna hang out for a couple hours? Why don't you go to my auntie's house and have Thanksgiving dinner without me?"
You have to forget your guitar here to hang out with Ty.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I learned everything.
Pretty sure if you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna go over to Ty's for a couple hours," Jackie would say, "Thank God."
Get the fuck off the couch. Oh man, I've turned into a soft man over the past week. What I realized is that I used to be able to, just walk, on my feet for 8 hours. Be able to climb ladders and turn wrenches and stuff like that.
Back to work.
Yeah, man, and I've just realized that I've just become like the ultimate softie. So any couch potato time is absolutely valued.
It's that first week's tough.
Yeah,
doing anything. I don't even think it has to be like that physical, and like what you're doing is. So it's
just
like
being on your feet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a motherfucker, right? That's why I need songs of it's a slow decay of the day to day that says take your paycheck, accept your fate, and fade away.
Soft man, emotional boy. Soft man.
I'm soft man. I am an emotional boy, But that's why that's why Dave Hause is singing my favorite jams to be at a slowed down tempo, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. If anybody checks this record out, I don't know if there's a physical copy where you flip the other side over. So it's Paddy on this side with Patrick Costello, and the other side is Patti Smith. So there's a bunch of Patti Smith covers on the other side too. So definitely check that one out. I wanted to kind of focus on just the Dillinger 4 stuff, but the Patti Smith shit is awesome as well. Nice. Definitely definitely check it out. And gang, we're hungover today, and that
Woo.
we made it.
And we got through it. We got through it.
We fucking got there.
And my brain is
We got there,
Oh
man.
yeah,
I'm
just
real
have to
proud
do
of all of us.
Thanksgiving dinner now.
Totally. Ty, what do you got coming
I'm
up?
excited.
Oh man, check it. What is this coming out?
Monday.
Sick. Okay. October 14th, Comedy Ring, Parts Unknown, new spot, friends.
Ooh.
Oh my dear Lord, we're in Yaletown. Go check it out. comedyring.card.co or go check it out on Eventbrite. Follow me on Instagram, Ty the Comic. But new venue. Let's fucking pack this shit out.
Hell
It's got an
yeah.
address and everything. It's, oh my God.
Very
wild.
Yeah. We
Very
have the day this comes out, we got Crossbones.
Yeah.
At
If you're in the Burnaby
Admiral,
area.
So if you want something to do tonight, come on by. We got
Hell
Sam
yeah.
Tawning closing
Nice.
it out.
It's gonna be nice.
It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. We got Dara Turner.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, he's probably feeling pretty rough this
Oh,
morning.
Oh yes,
I'm
oh
sure.
yeah.
Oh,
We owe
yeah.
Dara a couple bucks. Let's
Yeah.
just say that. Oh dear.
On that note, all the links are below, and catch you next week.
Peace.